The following program is the work of the broadcast students at the British Columbia Institute of Technology. BCIT Magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland which were produced over the last week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their instructors.
Today on BCIT Magazine, the provincial government fights the overdose crisis.
New government regulations affect e-cigarettes.
Protesters speak out against privatized healthcare. Hello and welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Nikki Chu.
And I'm Nicole Chenard. Illicit drug overdoses are on the rise across the province, and medical workers are alarmed at the number of deaths. Nathan Huttons examines the province's new campaign to fight the fentanyl crisis.
Vancouver's downtown east side is one area where the province's fentanyl epidemic is most visible. It's a problem politicians and medical workers are addressing with the release of the province's latest statistics.
I can say at this point that there is little good news to share. The number of fatalities in August was down a little from the month before, 49 deaths as opposed to 55. However, 488 people have died in BC as of the end of August as a result of illicit drug use.
LaPontaine's update comes on the heels of the province's new regulations that make naloxone much more accessible. Leslie McBain's son Jordan is one of those who naloxone could have saved. She's now committed to helping others.
Drug addiction and drug overdose can happen to anyone's child. We need to have the straightforward, non-judgmental, calm, fact-based talk with our loved ones and especially with our children.
McBain's words spoke to the heart of BC Health Minister Terry Lake, who got emotional at the podium thinking about his own kids.
Leslie, I can't imagine what you've gone through, and you're brave. And you will help us because you will hopefully help prevent other families from going through something similar.
This comes along with the province announcing a public awareness campaign, hopefully to get the people on the downtown east side the help they need. Nathan Hutton in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
We now welcome our reporter Nathan Hutton from the field. Nathan, you mentioned a media campaign by the province. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, Nicole, the new media campaign, which was shown to reporters at the press conference, is highlighted by a video of Leslie McBain talking about her son Jordan's struggle with addiction, his eventual overdose, and death in 2014. According to BC Health Minister Terry Lake, the video will be distributed on local television and social media over the coming months. Back to you, Nikki.
Dr. Brian Day is currently in a heated battle with the provincial government, challenging legislation that limits public access to private clinics, like the one he runs in Vancouver. Day and his supporters claim current rules violate the Canadian Charter, but many other groups believe this court challenge could destroy the Canadian medical system as we know it. Our reporter Christy Madden met with one vocal anti-privatization group earlier this week and brings us this story.
People gathered outside the BC Supreme Court with one purpose in mind: to protest the court case going on inside.
So we started a petition online, and 40,000 people have signed the petition.
Emma Pullman is also concerned about the financial cost of a partially private system.
We don't need to worry if we can pay for it, services. We don't need to worry about any of those things, and we don't end up going, into debt or into bankruptcy trying to, take care of someone we love or take care of ourselves.
For some, their own personal experiences have led to their involvement in the protest.
I thought I'd be really spoiled by the private system, and I was shocked. It was shoddy. The healthcare was worse. The record keeping was worse. The pain was much more.
I spoke to one doctor who sees the benefits of a partial private system.
I think that often is the concern, that if there's a an opening of private access to more timely medical care for elective procedures, that will take away resources from the public system. I don't think that's likely very true. I mean, we've got a lot of general surgeons and orthopedic surgeons and neurosurgeons and plastic surgeons who, could be doing more work but don't have enough access to operating room and procedure room or imaging time in the public system.
As the petition is taken to Dr. Brian Day's office by protesters, the organizers of the protests are hoping for more awareness. Where their voices are heard, the case will continue for a number of weeks. I'm Christy Madden in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
The provincial government passed laws to regulate e-cigarettes earlier this month. My co-anchor Nikki Chu has more on why proponents of these guidelines are breathing a sigh of relief.
This no smoking sign now includes e-cigarette smokers, and stores like this one must now plaster their windows and keep minors out. These are all new regulations that have many shop owners frustrated.
I kind of understand having to block out our windows, but I feel like people think we're closed down. I've had a lot of people say, oh, hey, I thought you guys were closed, even though we have a neon sign and a sandwich board saying open. I could probably see us closing down. It sucks to be held back.
Not everyone is unhappy with the new rules. The Canadian Cancer Society praises the stricter laws.
One thing that can decrease use is strong public policies, such as the amended Tobacco Act that includes vaporizers. So now these products are just being controlled in a better way to decrease their access and decrease the places where you see them being used. And that role modeling behavior goes a long way in preventing new audiences from picking up a behavior, and a potentially harmful one.
But some smokers say the new policy goes too far.
I bought one myself. I'd like to know its content, so I get the Ministry of Health concern. I get it. You shouldn't be allowed to vape indoors in workplaces. However, vaping on a street, I think, is a bit extreme.
Gilgan says the regulations are to keep youth away.
We're not anti-vape, but when it comes to non-smoking adults, specifically non-smoking youth, we don't want them picking up the habit and thinking that vaping is no problem, because we don't know what's going to happen 10, 20 years down the line with continued use of an e-cigarette.
According to the Society, 16% of BC youth between 15 and 19 years old have tried an e-cigarette. Nicole Chu in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
A Faxon bomb threat has forced schools across Prince Edward Island to evacuate on Wednesday. Police have since determined the threat was not credible. Meanwhile, 3 colleges in Nova Scotia were also evacuated after receiving similar faxes. No word on whether the threats were related.
With interest to develop on Port Moody's northwest shore comes the potential for a road right-of-way through the city's largest park. Coe Taylor spoke to one resident about why he says no.
The look of Port Moody's Bert Flynn Park could be changing in the near future. Interest from a Hong Kong-based developer has some residents concerned.
It sounds like a lovely idea, sort of murdered by a gang of brutal facts.
The current solution to a potential increase in population is a road through the city's largest park, a worry to residents like Hunter.
How is this, what happens to the land here, really going to feel and look to the people who are crammed cheek by jowl into this space?
The park and its users, including the non-human kind, will have their interests put before any developer, says Port Moody's mayor.
As a council, you're always supposed to be open to considering what comes forward, so we try to keep an open mind and say, well, okay, we'll look at it, and if it doesn't deliver benefits for the entire city, then we're not going to do it.
For Hunter, it's not just the road through the park, but the chain of events it could set off.
The Bert Flynn Park Road is kind of a gating item to a certain number of subsequent development decisions. So that's why everybody's trying to get in early, because the way you decide on that does have ramifying consequences.
No official proposal has been brought forward, so Mayor Clay says a decision has yet to be made.
We're nowhere near that point right now. I don't even know at all the scope of the development that they're proposing.
As the months unfold, Hunter says the 2,000 members of Save Burt Flynn Park will remain a strong voice in the fight to save the park. Coey Taylor in Port Moody for BCIT Magazine.
Burnaby residents are banding together this Sunday to protest the Kinder Morgan expansion project. Participants will run or walk along the Trans Mountain Trail, which intersects the Kinder Morgan facility. Organizers are finalizing preparations for this Sunday's event, where participants will have the chance to hear concerns about the proposed project.
Petroleum pipeline crossing. You know, we got high pressure petroleum crossing through here. Pipeline runs through here. And you can see the line. There's warning, high pressure petroleum.
There are some tankers there right now, and they plan to expand the route, double the route, and add 13 more tankers, which is going to significantly increase tanker traffic throughout the Burrard Inlet, and it's a huge risk in terms of safety on the mountain, but also safety for the marine tourism and mammals and animals along the route.
Attendees will begin their journey at 3 p.m. on Cinnamon Drive and continue along the Trans Mountain Trail. Organizers hope to expand awareness about the project as they ramp up efforts before the federal cabinet decision this December.
After the break on BCIT Magazine, Huggable offers free dog training sessions in Vancouver.
I chose BCIT because I know that all the programs are very hands-on. We have our own radio station. Like it's one of the best programs that I've ever heard of.
I am starting a job on Monday, so confidence is high.
Honestly, I didn't think it was going to be this fun.
A defining moment for me was when I finished my first internship and got lots of really great feedback from industry professionals.
I would have never imagined I'd be walking into the floors of TSN and thinking, I'm not a student anymore, I'm here to work.
I will be starting a job with an investigative news program in Toronto, and I'm really excited to see that grow into what will become, hopefully, my dream job.
BCIT Broadcast and Online Journalism, putting you to work.
An animal seizure in Langley has forced the Vancouver SPCA to temporarily shut down its adoption operations. As workers continue to treat the rescued animals, Hannah Mae Nassar tells us about the situation that landed more than 40 dogs in the rescue's care.
"24 farm animals, 18 cats, and 45 dogs have been seized in a raid conducted by the SPCA. The animals had been kept at a self-proclaimed rescue in Langley. The SPCA says the mass seizure was the result of a complaint from a member of the community about animals in distress. All animals have been taken into the SPCA's care, and the farm animals have been sent to their Good Shepherd barn in Surrey.
These animals all met the definition of distress under the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act and were removed because they were requiring care.
Moriarty says the majority of animals were improperly kept in crates, some of them being too small or even carrying multiple dogs at the same time. This caused major concerns, and the sheer volume of animals the shelter has had to take in is keeping the SPCA quite busy.
We're exceptionally full, and so we've had to shut down. We don't know how long that will take. There's thousands of dollars in medical that needs to be done, and we're just starting.
All the cats and dogs that were seized are being held here at the BC SPCA in Vancouver. They're being treated for a variety of different conditions, and though we don't know when they'll be able to be adopted out, the BC SPCA's main focus right now is just to get them healthy. The owner of the alleged rescue has 14 days to dispute the seizure, leaving the animals in what Moriarty calls a legal limbo. The dispute process could last anywhere from a few weeks to months. Hannah Mae Nassar in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Our reporter Hannah Mae Nassar joins us live. Hannah, has the SPCA recommended any charges against the property owner?
No, they have not. All we know at this point is that the animals in the seizure were not part of an illegal mill or breeding type situation. Now, the owner claims that she was running a rescue off of her property, but the SPCA did find many animals in distress when they got there. Unfortunately, one dog was found in critical condition and had to be put down as a result.
Hannah, is the owner known to the SPCA?
Yes, actually. This is the second time Sandra Simmons has had animals seized by the SPCA. Simmons won a defamation suit against the organization back in 2014 when a judge found that the SPCA had wrongfully insinuated that she was hurting a Chihuahua that was in her care at the time. Back to you.
A rabbit sanctuary was forced to expand to South Surrey in order to accommodate more bunnies. Megan Friesen went to check out the new location.
So many rabbits and not enough space. That's what led Rabbitats to expand to their new location in South Surrey.
So we needed to have a bigger sanctuary, and so we expanded out here, which is great, because otherwise who knows what would have happened to these furry little people.
Rabbitats takes in abandoned and feral rabbits, not only to give them a new home, but also to control the large bunny population.
We're trying to minimize the rabbit population by people bringing them in and spaying them and neutering them, and then getting adopted out for a forever loving home.
After the procedure, the sanctuary tries to adopt out the bunnies in colonies of 10 to 30.
It'd be great if we could have more farmers jump on board, where we could build more sanctuaries to expand our growing population of rabbits.
It may seem like a lot of work, but Kathy says it's more than worth it.
They're really easy animals to love and care for, and they're happy to see you, right? They're not complaining. You know, they just want some attention and love.
Rabbitats says the new location also serves as an example for what other people can build on their property. Megan Friesen, Surrey, BCIT Magazine.
Pit bulls have been blamed for many attacks across North America, and some people are still trying to ban them in BC. My co-anchor Nicole Chenard visited an organization in Vancouver who is offering a new class that encourages responsible ownership.
Huggable offers free training sessions for dog owners in Vancouver.
I think they're one of the most loving and affectionate breeds. I mean, we've had many dogs. I've had dogs growing up, and can't tell you of any other dog that will come and just sit on your lap and literally think that she's a 3-pound lap dog.
The new class teaches responsible ownership to help diminish the amount of dog attacks each year. But after an unprovoked attack where a child was bitten, some don't think that training sessions alone will be enough to control the pit bull breed.
Pit bulls are amongst the most dangerous animals, and particularly dogs, in the world. We've seen so many vicious attacks, so many fatalities over the years, and pit bulls are responsible for somewhere over 82% of all attacks, all fatalities in the United States year after year.
Yet others claim that information isn't reliable.
Something like dogbite.com can use any statistics or news reports to get statistics, which is not an accurate way of getting scientific information.
Good point. If you look around today, we're in the middle of a training session. You could call every dog here a pit bull, but they look so different. And we could DNA test them all, and they could be boxers or labs or bulldogs.
To avoid future attacks from all breeds of dogs, Huggable will continue offering their free training sessions and encourage responsible ownership. Nicole Chenard in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Coming up on BCIT Magazine, returning students take full advantage of a new facility.
Another BCIT facility gets a facelift.
The most rewarding thing for me has been the relationships I developed in the program, both with instructors and classmates.
My sense of confidence has never been higher. I mean, this program's offered great opportunities to be in real world, real industry situations, and being in those moments and knowing I can contribute, I can do this.
It's exciting to be in this industry and to meet lots of great people and to make amazing friends.
BCIT Broadcast and Online Journalism, realizing your potential.
Standby graphics, ready camera one.
If you want to experience the fast-paced world of news,
today on BCIT Magazine, striking.
Make magic on a movie set.
Frame.
and action. Or bring your creative ideas to life. BCIT's hands-on training will get you started. BCIT Television and Video Production. Your possibilities start here.
Hi, I'm Minto. Check out the Sunday Soul Brunch at the Emerald on Sunday the 25th. They'll be serving up a brunch buffet of Southern classics, like chicken and waffles, while soulful singers serenade the audience. Over to you, Maya.
Toss on your flapper dress or cuff trousers and head to the Gatsby's Night Out at the Orpheum, where you can get a tour of the historical venue and learn the Lindy Hop. This is a free adult-only event.
Prepare for Halloween at the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra on October 12th. The VSO will be performing the original score from Alfred Hitchcock's thriller, Psycho.
The City of Vancouver is seeking your input through the online survey regarding dogs in Vancouver's parks and beaches. You can find their survey at vancouver.ca.
Joined live in studio with Clay Howie, the Research Associate at BCIT's Energy Oasis, a network of fast charging stations which will enable electric cars to be charged in minutes rather than hours. Clay is here to talk to us about the new station. So Clay, can you just tell us how are these unique to BC?
Well, there's more to the story than just the charging stations. There's the infrastructure behind the charging stations. So we've got a very large solar installation, 250 kilowatts, which is there's only a couple of those in all of BC. And we've also got a huge 40-foot container of lithium-ion batteries to store that energy because everyone wants to use wind energy and solar energy, but the challenge is the wind doesn't always blow, the sun doesn't always shine, so storing that energy makes it useful so you can charge cars in the middle of the night.
And what has the response been so far?
Response has been great. When we first were building this facility, a lot of people were scratching their heads because there weren't that many electric cars around. But now, just in the city of Vancouver, there's over 1,500 electric cars. And if you go down there during the day, you'll see plenty of cars charging. And some of them will be there for the entire day. Some of them are just charging at the fast chargers and then on their way.
Perfect. And these stations are pretty expensive to bring in. Do you think that they are worth the cost?
Well, in our case, we weren't looking at it from an economic point of view. We were doing this for research and education purposes. But having said that, when you look at the greenhouse gas emissions that are eliminated by using an electric vehicle, it's been very worthwhile from an environmental point of view. And I think from an economic point of view, if you ask the drivers of the electric vehicles, they'll find that charging their car is a lot less expensive than paying for gasoline.
Thanks so much, Clay.
You're welcome.
The BCIT campus pub was renovated after nearly a decade. Megan Friesen went to check out the new location.
The final touches are being made to BCIT's newly renovated restaurant. It's been 16 years since the last update, and manager Mike Neal says it was time to rebrand.
As probably not many people know, or some people do, there's no professors actually. They're all instructors at BCIT, so from that point the name really never worked.
The Habitat features new furniture and accessories, a new spacious layout, and even a new menu.
12 to 14 items are probably brand new. We came up with a few new salads, a few different appetizers. We're not trying to be fancy like an Earl's or Cactus Club like that, but because we changed the look of the place, we had to sort of change some of the style of the food and how we presented it.
I went to talk to students to see what they think of the renovations.
It's a little bit more girly, and it definitely looks more open and more organized when you walk in, so yeah, I like it.
I thought they were really pretty. Honestly, my first reaction was that the lights were Pinterest worthy and they would make a lot of really nice Instagram photos.
I really like it. It looks a lot more brighter when you look in, and it looks almost like it's been expanded. There looks to be a lot more seating, and yeah, it looks really nice.
The renos took 8 weeks to complete, but Neil is pleased with the results.
All the different student groups that are on campus, there's a lot of Habitat sort of people, and this is a way they can all come into one and sort of mingle and coexist.
Megan Friesen, Burnaby, BCIT Magazine.
The BCIT workout gym had a complete overhaul renovation in the summer. Gino Kutri reports on how the gym is interactive for students and their opinions on the upgrade.
Well, working for those gains is all that matters. Well, not anymore with the renovation of the new BCIT workout facility, where you can now work out and do a lot more. Ty Embry details.
We decided to do an upgrade because the equipment that we had before was not up to date. It wasn't very ergonomically correct, and it was falling apart. So it was really hard to maintain. So the majority of our equipment was out of order most of the time, so students found it very stressful to come in and use machines that were out of date and inaccessible.
All of the new cardio machines are set up for your entertaining pleasure. You can read your favorite article, surf the internet, or even binge season 2 of Narcos on Netflix. The machines come equipped in 27 languages, and remember your favorites for when you come back. Gym regular Charles Finkel explains.
Probably as nice or nicer than a lot of the gyms in the area, and to not come here is just you're wasting your tuition money, really.
The gym was also reconfigured to be wheelchair accessible with a lot more open space, and is much more inclusive for the whole student population.
Because of all of this rebranding, I want to say of the gym, I think a lot more girls have decided to come in, so it's nice to not just be surrounded by a whole bunch of giant men all the time.
With the motivational banners the finishing touch, the new BCIT gym is bringing in more traffic every week. Gino Kutri in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
One of Hollywood's most iconic couples have decided to call it quits after 12 years. Angelina Jolie filed divorce from Brad Pitt, citing irreconcilable differences.
August of 2016 has been deemed the warmest August on record. The U.S. Weather Service says the average global temperature was 0.92 degrees Celsius above average, breaking 2015's record for the June to August period.
Contact us at bcit-broadcastnews.com or bcitbroadcastnews.ca.
I'm Nikki Chu.
And I'm Nicole Chenard. Thanks for watching BCIT Magazine. We now leave you with video. Back to Rabbit Tats.
I like the squeak.
I love the squeak. That's the best part of a guinea pig, right?
I'm going to have to get a couple of these ones.
I love the squeaky.
Get shipped or...
Couldn't tell you.